There are these contrasting moments in the second half of Margin Call that I've thought about for a while. In the calm before the storm scenes, the storm being the fire sale, Seth and Will are driving back from Eric Dale's house. Seth questions if he himself will be fired. Will says, I don't know. And then almost immediately then says, yeah, almost definitely, yes. Seth then asks if Will be fired, and Will simply, definitively says no. And yet, in the next scene, Sam is outside the building. Peter walks up to him and during their conversation asks, are we all getting fired tonight? Sam says, probably. Peter asks, are they going to fire you? Sam says, well, they won't exactly call it that. It'll be a mercy killing, really. So here we have two long-term employees of the firm. One is certain he won't be fired, and the other believes he probably will be let go. Why was Will so certain that he wouldn't be fired, while Sam thought the opposite? In this video, I want to talk about Will Emerson, how he is the heart of Margin Call, and how he is a survivor. On my video about Sarah Robertson's firing, I got a request to do a character analysis on Will. Before we dive in, the YouTube algorithm is always shifting, so please subscribe if you want to see more videos. Drop a comment down below for which character you'd like to see next. When I say Will is the heart of Margin Call, what do I mean? Margin Call has an ensemble cast, and the movie deftly shifts between characters to where it feels that there is no main character. If anything, it seems that Peter or Sam could be the main character. The movie wants us to empathize most with Peter, Sam, and Eric. The characters work in all levels of the firm, from a junior analyst in the risk department all the way up to the CEO. However, Will is the only character who is an actual trader at the time of the film. The higher-ups may decide on the fire sale, and Sam has to convince the other traders to essentially destroy their own jobs, but it is Will who we see selling the toxic assets. Will is the first main cast member we see on the screen. So when I say he is the heart of Margin Call, this means that his perspective perhaps matters the most. That we, as the audience, should pay attention to Will. So what are some things we should pay attention to? First, his sense of loyalty. He tells Seth and Peter to ignore the layoffs, yet he goes to talk to Eric. When Jared asks him if he will step in if Sam won't do the fire sale, he says he'll go with whatever Sam does. He tells Seth he's sorry for his upcoming firing, where Jared just says, oh. Second, Paul Bettany's careful acting. Will is mostly silent in the meeting scenes. Go back and watch his reactions to everything that's happening in those scenes. His silent reactions reveal more about the firm and his thoughts on what will happen. For example, Will says the firm doesn't lose money. Later, when John says he'll have to pay, his eyebrows go up. Third, his speech about normal people. I've seen comments praising this speech, saying it is accurate. However, I think people forget an earlier moment of the speech. Will tells Seth that he has to believe he is necessary. Will, in this moment, is saying something he himself has had to believe over the years, that he is necessary. I think viewers take his speech as a clear summary, when it is the opinion of a trader, one who is gearing up to do the fire sale. These are his long-held opinions, his way of justifying his work. Back to the question at the top of the video. Why was Will so certain he wouldn't be fired while Sam thought the opposite? I don't have a definitive answer to this question, and I'd love to hear from you. Why do you think Will thought he wouldn't be fired, while Sam thought he would be let go? We've established that Will believes what he does is necessary. There's a section in the script that got cut from the film. During the drive, Will talks about one of the trades that he made, $36 million. I think this is also part of why Will thinks he'll survive. He knows how to make money for the firm. Sam, in contrast, questions what he has to show for all the years he's worked at the firm. This is part of their differing opinions on if they'll be fired. Here, I want to talk more about how Will is a survivor and how this influences his belief that he definitely won't be fired. Margin Call has strong themes around survival, so this provides a paradigm to look at Will's character. In the first scene, Seth seems incredulous that HR is doing the layoffs right there. Will asks if they've ever been through this before. Considering that Peter has worked at the firm for 2 years, and I believe Seth is even newer, the answer is no. With this question, we know that Will has survived company restructurings in the past. And right now, he's surviving this one too. Will gives Seth and Peter some advice. Best to just ignore it, keep your head down, and go back to work. Is this Will's version of be first, be smarter, or cheat? His way to survive? Let's look at each line. Ignore it. Will knew something was shady with the MBS products, but he ignored it. He knows Eric talked to Sarah a year ago, and he doesn't seem surprised when Peter tells him what he found. Keep your head down. We see that Will speaks openly with Sam, yet is mostly silent in the larger meetings. As mentioned earlier, rewatch those scenes and pay attention to his reactions. In contrast, Eric spoke up and got fired for it. Go back to work. Will goes on to do the fire sale. In my video about the line, be first, be smarter, or cheat, I said that the firm was essentially cheating by selling products it knew were worthless. I got a lot of comments saying caveat emptor, buyer beware. However, I can't help but notice how Will's selling tactics mirror scams, especially the reliance on urgency and presenting the sale as a limited time offer tailored to the other traders. Fun fact, Will's sales weren't originally in the script. Will's fate is ambiguous. The last we know of him, he was trading. Jared tells Sam, well done. But we have no idea if they reached their goal. In an interview with Empire, Paul Bettany says that Will is a survivor, and he would probably still be doing the same thing after the film. Do you think Will survived? I'd like to think so. That wraps up my look at Will Emerson. If you liked this video, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.